Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. For those of you who do not know me, hi, welcome. I'm so glad you stopped by today. Today I'm talking about the rainbow eyeshadow palettes in my collection, hence my rainbow skull shirt. I am super excited about this. This is one of my favorite type of palettes to collect. I love colorful palettes in general, but rainbow palettes have a special place in my heart and a special place in my collection, and I keep buying them. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it and start talking about the rainbow palettes in my collection. But before we do that, I did want to let you know that this look will be in an upcoming video if you guys do want to see how I got it. It's very different. I was kind of playing around with different shades and things with this one, and it's a little bit different than even I thought it was going to turn out. So yeah. So why don't we go ahead and start swatching and looking at my rainbow palettes. Yay. So this is the Hasina palette. It is from Blush Tribe. It's one of my very first Blush Tribe palettes. As well as one of the very first rainbow palettes I did get in my collection. I absolutely love this one. It's not your typical rainbow. It does have a few added colors to it, and I kind of like it. But my favorite shades in this palette are going to be Jamila, look at that green, as well as Maha. I was sitting here going, don't swatch the blue and green, and what did I do? I swatched the blue and green. So this one is Jamila. Oh, look at that. That is a beautiful green. And Maha. I will say that the matte formula in this is very different than some of the other ones. I don't know, these ones were always much more creamy. I mean, look at the mess around that one. It comes off more like a creamy or shadow kind of. It's just different. I don't know, but I really do like this palette, and I love having it in my collection. It was the first Blush Tribe palette I ever picked up, and I really do like Blush Tribe overall, but I do think that this is one of their better quality eyeshadow palettes. Speaking of Blush Tribe, we have the Pastel Trend. This one was limited edition. This one is a pastel palette, and I did kind of buy it for the Danielle shade because that's my name. But this is what this one looks like. It is very, very pretty. It does still have that kind of rainbow vibe to it. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch Sheridan, which is kind of this pastel red matte shade, and then we have to swatch the shade Danielle. I just have to. So this is Sheridan, and this one is Danielle. Just like I said in the last video, I do think that Blush Tribe has a better shimmer formula than they do a matte formula. It's just kind of something I've kind of come to the conclusion with after playing with them for so long and having Blush Tribe palettes in my collection. I do like this one. I do need to play with it a lot more than I have. But yeah, again, the artwork is just beautiful. Then we have one of my absolute favorite palettes in my entire collection. I absolutely love this palette. It is the Zulu palette by Juvia's Place. I would, in all honesty, say that this is my favorite Juvia's Place palette. Yes, you can see that I at one point mixed blue and green. That shouldn't be a surprise here at all. But my favorite shades in this palette are going to be this kind of teal shade. And then it's a toss-up between the blue and the green shimmer, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go with the blue one, just off of instinct. But this is that teal shade. Oh, that's so pretty. And then this is that blue. They're both beautiful. I don't know, I love Juvia's Place shimmer shades. I did not, until I started doing these videos, I did not realize how much of a love I have for shimmer shades. I may not always use full palettes of just shimmer shades, but I do love them. I love how bright and sparkly they can be and just unique. Their matte formula is pretty good. The only one I really struggle with in this one is this purple right here. It is beautiful, but you do have to kind of build it, and it does kind of fade away. The rest of the mattes are pretty good though. Overall, I enjoy this palette. I'm glad it's in my collection, and it's one of the many rainbow palettes that I love. Let's talk about the Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette. This one is a very bright rainbow. It is a very, very bright rainbow. But I absolutely love it. I do not, and I'm a fan of pressed glitters, but I do not love their pressed glitters at all. I cannot stand their pressed glitters. So my favorite shades are going to be Lit, this yellow, look at that, as well as Glitz, this kind of minty, bluey green shade. So this is Lit. That is such a good yellow, and I think it's one of the best in my collection. And then Glitz. So there are those shades. I do want to try more from Pinky Rose. I have not really had the time to pick up anything or the ability to pick up anything new, but I really wish in this palette, the mattes are amazing, the shimmers are really good. I wish these, instead of being glitters, I wish they were just shimmers, because I really think that would add to it, because I don't know how to explain this, because I have other pressed glitters that I really, really do like in my collection, like my DKB pressed glitters, absolutely love. And there's some other palettes that I even have that have pressed glitters. These pressed glitters in this palette are just gritty, and they feel gritty on your eyes, and it's just irritating and not fun to wear. So that's kind of just my thoughts on the pressed glitters in this in general. But overall, I do like the mattes, and I do like the shimmer shade. The next palette I have is from Violet Voss. It's the Rainbow palette, and I did break the mirror. Just letting you know the mirror's broken. But this is an all shimmer palette. It is very pretty. I have 4 of the shades on my eyes today in conjunction with another palette that I did use. My favorite shades in this, though, are going to be the violet shade there, as well as the Seafoam shade. So this is what the violet shade looks like swatched. It's a very beautiful purple. It's like a pink based purple. And then we have the Seafoam green. Oh, so pretty. Look at that. That would be a pretty color story. I mean, I need a few more mattes. I really do think it's kind of funny how drawn I am to shimmers when I'm like, I don't like shimmers that much. Apparently I do. That's just been kind of fun. I got this palette a while ago. I believe my ex-husband picked it up for me when we were at the mall one day, and I do really enjoy it. I don't really hold any like bad memories or anything to this palette, but it's not one I grab often because the only shade in here is this, that's matte, is this black shade. And it's a black glittery shade. It's not even like just a matte black, it has glitter in it. So I don't really use that, but I do kind of want to at some point play with a black base with these and do like a black base and then put them on top because I want to see how that looks. I just have not gotten around to it. Then we have this guy here. This is the Sugar Pill Fun Size, the mini color palette here. It looks like this. It's just, to me, a very pastel kind of rainbow palette. I really wanted to pick this up when I did because I've been wanting to try the Sugar Pill formula. I've played with this a few times and it's okay. My favorite shades are going to be Twitch, which is this shade. You can tell that they're very pastel. Like I have to like dig my finger in so that I can swatch this. And then I like the shade High Score, which is this orange. So we have Twitch. See, they don't really show up. I have to like really swatch them. And then the High Score. I want to kind of play with these with different bases. I want to see how they work with my Anastasia base, with my NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk. And then I also have the Cut Crease Canvas by Revolution or Makeup Revolution, whatever they're being called these days. I have those and I kind of want to play with that more and see which base really works with those shadows because they're kind of different. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if I like the Sugar Pill formula, which is crazy because it's so hyped and so talked about and so many different people use it and things like that and talk great about it. But I just haven't really found if I love it. I don't know. I need to play with that more. I don't really gravitate towards that palette either, which is interesting. And it might just be because the few times I've used it, it's been a little lackluster. Then we have the Lila Palette. This is by Blush Tribe. It, to me, is a much brighter kind of rainbow palette. It has all of those rainbowy shades, plus a few others. I kind of like when rainbow palettes aren't just like, oh, look, it's the rainbow thrown at your face. My favorite shades are the teal shade, which is aptly called teal, and then the rose shade, which looks like this. So this is the teal shade, and then the rose shade. Oh, look at that hot pink. Ooh, that would be a pretty thing to do, put the pink and the teal together. I would so do that. I wonder how many, yeah. But I like this because it is an all matte palette, and I don't have very many just like all mattes. But I find it interesting because I'm more drawn to either an all shimmer or an all matte. I don't like pulling out more than one eyeshadow palette, which is kind of funny because I did pull out 2 eyeshadow palettes for this to film it for a 3 looks 1 palette, but it technically that was a 2 looker because I needed a shimmer shade. I ended up using 4 of them, but you know, whatever, it happens. But yeah, it's pretty so far. I like the color story. Then we have this one. This is by Revolution or Makeup Revolution, and this is the Tammy Revolution palette. It is the Tropical Carnival, and it looks like this. This is definitely a rainbow palette right here. So my 2 favorite shades are this blue one, which is called Shortney, and then this green matte, which is called St. Catherine. So we have Shortney and St. Catherine. And I actually do really enjoy this palette. It was one that I had been looking at, and I wasn't sure I was going to get, and that I'm glad I purchased. It is a very good Makeup Revolution palette. I have tried some that I just absolutely do not like, but I do really like the formula in this palette. I'm going to talk about another Makeup Revolution palette and kind of show them together because I feel like these are very, very similar, and I can't be the only one. Now this palette I haven't really played with that much. It's the Makeup Revolution Integrity. It's one of their Wild Animal palettes. I did buy it because it's a zebra print. And the shades that I'm drawn to in here are the yellow, as well as this metallic green. And then I'm going to show them up together. So there's that yellow, and there is that metallic green. Now the placement of the shadows in here is different. There's a few other variants within these shadows, but they are very, very similar, like very similar palettes. So I'm bringing this up because I do not think that you need both of these palettes in your collection. I really bought this one for the packaging, which I shouldn't have. And formula wise, they're very, very similar. They have very similar shades in them. They're just overall just very similar. The placement of the shades is just slightly different in each of these palettes. But I do like them. I do consider both of them rainbow palettes, and yeah. I don't know if I just want to wipe my arm off because I only have a few palettes left. I don't have a ton of rainbow palettes. Most of my palettes are either colorful or neutral, and then there's the rainbow category. But do I really need more rainbow palettes? No. So this right here is the Afrique by Juvia's Place, and this is what this one looks like. It is very, very, very pretty, and it is, again, you have those neutrals, you have the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue. It's a neutral palette. So the Côte d'Ivory, which I can never say, is one of my favorites. Did you guys just see all the powder on my finger just like fall off? Good thing I'm on tile. So there's that one. And I also like the Dakar shade, which is this kind of bright orange. I'm going to swatch the blue right here, and then the bright orange off to the side there. They're both very pretty. I actually like the mattes in this palette better than I do the shimmers, which is kind of surprising. I have dipped into the mattes quite a few times. The only one I have not used is this green one. And I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't used the green one yet. But overall, I do enjoy this palette. I like it a lot. That's why it's in my collection. Hair flip. No. It's a very beautiful palette. It's not my favorite Juvia's Place. I still hold the Zulu to that like high standard, and I really, really do like it. The next one is also a Makeup Revolution palette. It's the Alexis Stone palette, and this thing is huge. Look at that. I have not touched this. It's really sad. I have not touched it, and I need to play with it, and I want to do like a first impressions kind of playing with it and all of that. So if you guys would like to see that, comment down below and let me know. The two shades I am drawn to, where my eye automatically goes, are this bright pink right here and this kind of mauvey purpley pink right there. And I'm going to swatch the bright pink right there. Look at that. That is beautiful. And then the mauvey shade, put right there. Both of those are beautiful. And every time I look at this, I go, ooh, those are pretty. And this is my first time swatching anything out of this palette. I got this for Christmas, and I just have not gotten around to playing with it. Every time I look at it, I get a little overwhelmed. It is a rather big rainbow palette, but it is very pretty. The only shade that this is really missing for a rainbow palette is orange, but I'm kind of intrigued by this gray to black kind of row here. So I kind of like that. I like the gradient in the colors. I really do think that this is a very pretty palette. I just need to figure out when to play with it, how to play with it, what to do, and I might do like a 3 looks 1 palette or something like that to just kind of play with this before I give my complete thoughts. And it is, just so you know, it does say it's a pressed pigment palette, meaning you shouldn't use it on your eyes, but who's gonna listen to that? I'm gonna put all those pressed pigments right around my eyes, people. I don't listen to it. I break the rules. It's fun. Up next, we have this guy. This is the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette, and if anyone says that this is not a rainbow palette, then what is it? It's a rainbow palette. And I was sent this by a very generous subscriber, and I really do kind of like this. I'm not that impressed with his shimmer shades. His mattes are okay. It was kind of fun trying a brand that I never intended to purchase. This is Lemon Drop, which is one of my absolute favorite shades. It is a metallic yellow, and I love it. And then, which one do I want to swatch? I think we're going to go with the Jawbreaker shade. So I'm going to swatch 2 shimmers here. I'm going to put Lemon Drop right here. Look at that. That is just beautiful. And then Jawbreaker right there, which I like to use Jawbreaker as a highlighter and an inner corner highlight. I absolutely love to use that one. That way it is a very beautiful overall palette. I do think that this palette's very pretty. I do kind of wish that some of the shades were moved around, just like people, you know, comment all the time, but it does work and you can make really, really pretty looks with it. This does stain though, like crazy. A lot of staining. Up next is one of my all-time favorite palettes, and that is the Matte Carity palette. I absolutely love this palette, and it is one that you will have to pry out of my cold dead fingers to get, because this is one of my very, very, very first rainbow palettes ever. I purchased it, I loved it, and I still love it. My favorite shades are Lumbia, and then Alexi. So we're gonna swatch Lumbia right here. Oh, that's so pretty. And then, you know what? I bet you can see it. Alexi right there. I love, love, love these matte hot pinks. But I do feel like this half of the palette works better than this half. I will say that. The blues do work. The purple shade Ego here, I think, is the hardest shade in the palette to work with. The greens work. It's a very good palette, and it has a very good matte black in it, which matte black is one of my favorite eyeshadow colors. I like a good matte black. Then we have this guy right here. This is the Sephora Pro Pigment Palette. This is the editorial palette. Getting things open with these nails is like almost impossible. And this is what this looks like. It's not your traditional rainbow palette, but it still kind of has that rainbow palette kind of vibe to it, and that's why I put it in here. My favorite shades are this one, which is more of a transformer shade, as well as this one right down here, kind of a bronzy shade. I'm going to put the transformer shade, which it's hard to see. I like to kind of put that, it's very glittery, over like a base of some kind, and then the bronzy shade. Now what I've noticed is that these in general do not swatch well. Do not. The shimmers in this do not swatch well. But if you do spray them down and you kind of have a wet base, they work really, really well on your eyes. They do not swatch well. As you guys can see, they don't really swatch well. They come across crumbly. They don't perform that way on the eyes, especially if you spray them. I just wanted to let you know. Got this for Christmas 2 years ago, and I absolutely love it. It's a really, really heavy palette, and it's one that I need to play with more. I really do love the colors in this, especially the blues and the pinks and the reds. The final palette I have here is from BH Cosmetics. It's the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, and it is definitely a rainbow palette. You guys can't argue that it's not a rainbow palette. I hate these shades down here, though, and this is going to be very hard for me to swatch. Just thought about that, but we will. So I love, again, this hot pink. And we're going to go with the green because it caught my eye. Goodness. So there's the hot pink, and there is that bright green. I will say that I do like that there's so many different variants of color in this palette. I am just not the biggest fan of the formula. It does work, and you can get some great looks out of it. You just have to work with it, or maybe it's just me. I just really have to work with this palette to get the looks out. I'm not a fan of these shimmer shades in this whatsoever, because a lot of the bottom row are shimmers along with some of the ones interspersed. The mattes work better than the shimmers in this palette. Well, there you have it. There are all of my rainbow eyeshadow palettes in my collection. You guys will have to let me know down below which rainbow palette is your favorite. I am trying not to purchase as many rainbow palettes because I have a lot of them. As you guys can see, I have a lot. I have a lot, and I don't need any more. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!